Good morning, friends. Welcome back to my channel, and welcome to another weekly pivot point. Yes, I am coming to you in my PJs and no makeup and looking really tired. It's been a long night. So I ended up having to take my mom to the hospital last night. And well, I didn't take her. I couldn't get her up. I had to call for a non-emergency ambulance ride to transport her to the hospital. So she had started complaining a few days ago about her neck hurting. And we thought it was just like she had slept on it wrong, because she sleeps in some weird angles sometimes. Like sometimes the pillow is like straight up and like her neck is like, but I've just been giving her some Tylenol, and it seemed like she was still complaining about it. I was like, if she's still complaining about it in a couple days, then, we'll take her to the doctor. Well, then what's today? I'm losing track of my days, y'all. So Monday, she started not really getting around and moving around at all. She was just laying in bed most of the time. She also started having more accidents. So we had been, putting the Depends on her. And as in I mean me. But she wasn't getting up much, but she also was still complaining of her neck hurting. So I was like, okay, I'm going to need to call the doctor to, to maybe check it out or get some kind of, pain medication or something for it, stronger than Tylenol. And she also started talking a little more nonsense than normal. Like the words were just not even making sense. So before, she would say words, she would say a full word, but it may not be the right word for what she was trying to say, but at least you could understand like the word that she was saying. Around Monday, she was starting to use words that like didn't even sound like a word. Like she was just kind of slurry. So she was sleeping so much and she was just so tired that I thought it was just because she was really tired, and just kind of got worse. So by yesterday, she had only gotten up one time in the middle of the day, and I had to, because she was sleeping so much, but I had to go down, and she couldn't even sit up without like the pain. She was like, crying out that it hurt. And so I did help her up, and I was able to have her walk her to the bathroom to go to the bathroom. But by evening time, she was talking a lot, a lot of nonsense. She wasn't making a lot of sense. She was talking about her neck hurting, and I was like, you need to probably get up and eat. She hadn't eaten in like 24 hours. She wasn't drinking because her water is on her nightstand. So she always keeps bottled water on her nightstand to the right of her. Well, it's her right side. And so like her neck is like literally like this, and she's not able to like stretch out to get it. So she wasn't drinking much. I had her keep a bottle in the bed with her. I was like, at least you need to keep drinking. And so I think she was just getting severely dehydrated because she wasn't able to get to her water as much. And so I just was like, we need to just take her to the hospital. And at least, worst case, maybe she pulled her neck, but this way she would get some fluids in her. And so transported to the hospital at like 7:00. So went to hospital about 7:00 last night. Of course, at our hospital, if all the rooms in the ER are taken, they just start lining up beds in the hallway and putting people on them. So we pretty much were in the hallway. She was on a bed, and then me and my husband were sitting in chairs. And of course, my husband has to get up really early, so he was only going to be able to stay a couple hours. I knew I was going to be there a lot longer than that, but I told him not to come, but he did. So then they did some blood work. They put a catheter in to check for a UTI, and then they did a CT scan of her neck. So just waiting for all that. So they did come back and said that they saw on the CAT scan that there was like a small fissure in her neck that had a little pocket of fluid. They're not 100% sure if that's what's causing the pain, or if it is something, skeletal, muscular, in her neck. And so they basically were going to treat it with antibiotic. And they did ask if, and now mind you, this was at like 11 o'clock at night, probably sometime between 11 and 12. I did not get this update. And it was a long time. And so she was like, you're more than welcome to take her home and just start the antibiotic if you think you can get her home. The doctor was very nice. She said they had no problem admitting her, if I didn't think, that she'd be okay at home. And I was like, no. I was like, no, I can't take her home. She was not moving, like literally cannot move on her own, which means she's not going to be able to get up and go to the bathroom. Even if she's in Depends right now, I was still able to get her to go to the bathroom and we could change it and, things like that. If she can't even move, she's literally just going to be laying there. And then I would have to be trying to change her while she's laying there. I'm just not equipped for that. I can't be with her 24/7. There's just no way. So, I just told her I wasn't comfortable getting her home and being able to give her the care she needs until she's actually mobile again. And she asked if she was, moving on her own before, this happened. And I was like, yeah, until about 2 days ago. I said, and at least I did get her up once yesterday and was able to get her up and go to the bathroom. But then after that, like, no. And I was like, I can't. If she can't move, I can't take care of her. So they admitted her, and they are going to try and do physical therapy today to try and get her up and get her moving. Because, I said, if she's up and mobile on her own, she definitely, I can take her back home. So I don't know what that's going to look like, but they still at like 2:15 in the morning did not have a room for her. They had a room in the ER that opened that they cleaned, so they were actually able to get her in her own room to have some privacy and quiet and try and get her to sleep. Because when I tell you, this woman was in the hallways just, Julie, I don't know what's going on. I love you, Julie. It was kind of comical because they transported her and then we drove over there. And then when we had to wait up front a little bit until, they had her settled. And then when we went back, one of the nurses was like, oh, are you Julie? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, Julie's here, everybody. And I was like, what? And everybody's like, hey, Julie. And I was like, what are we talking about? I was like, what is happening? Apparently she'd just been talking nonstop in the hallways about Julie and her daughter and where's Julie and so everybody knew me. Everybody knew me. But I sat there for 7 hours and she still did not have a room. I was like, mm-mm. So when they took her back to a separate room in the ER, I just asked, I was like, what's the likeliness that she's going to get a room in like the next 2 hours? And she's like, probably pretty slim. And I was like, I need to go home and get some sleep because I need to work today. And my daughter needed my car because her headlights went out on her car. We have new ones that just arrived, but they haven't been replaced yet. And she is working the morning shift today at her old job. She's filling in for somebody and she had to go in at like 5 o'clock in the morning. So it was dark. So she needed headlights. So I was like, I have to get my car home to her. So I was like, I'm going to leave her here to rest with you. You can let me know when she gets in her room. And she said, okay. And she's like, so she took my number and everything. And she's like, so if she gets in her room at like 6 a.m., she's like, are you okay if I call and leave a message? She's like, is that going to wake you up? And I was like, no, I'm not going to hear anything. They have not called yet. So she very well could still be sitting in a room in the ER, which she's still getting good care. She's at least in her own room now, but it's not her actual room at the hospital. So I'm running on 4 hours of sleep, y'all. This coffee. I need like an IV drip of coffee. But so I feel like I'm always just coming to you being like, I'm tired. Y'all, I'm tired. January is the month of tired. Actually, not just January. I'm running on about 3 months of being tired. So I did go check out that facility last week that I was in my last weekly update. And I wasn't loving it. It was kind of depressing. It kind of had me just kind of really sad. I don't know what to expect from the facilities. So like, I don't know if my expectations are just higher or if all these facilities are like this. So I was supposed to go Monday and tour another Medicaid facility They didn't have any openings, but I wanted to see what their facility looked like compared to the other one, so I could see like where my expectations are lying. If I'm just, my expectations are high, or if this place just isn't that great. But the lady at the place I'm supposed to go to is just super nice. She has called me a few times offering like other places that I might be able to check out. She's just really nice, but I did have to reschedule with her because my daughter needed the car because she worked at night and she needed headlights, and my appointment was going to be in the evening and I was going to need headlights. It's a thing, y'all. I cannot tell you how many times I have had to share my car or share my dog. Like we swap cars. Like I'll be driving her car. I mean, you've seen vlogs where I'm in my daughter's car. Like we literally just have interchangeable cars. So sometimes she has mine, sometimes I have hers. But anyway, so I had to reschedule that for this Friday. So I'm going to go look at that. And then she did leave me another message yesterday that I listened to when I was at the hospital last night, saying that she may have another lead for me on a facility. And then I had another message from said facility that she had reached out to. And I was like, this is amazing. Like this lady did not have to help me at all. Like it has nothing to, like, the chances of me being able to go to her facility might be slim because they don't have any openings. I mean, you never know what's going to happen. But so I'm like, I'm just very thankful that somebody was actually willing, to go the extra mile for somebody that may not even be a resident there. So I'm just very thankful for that. So I'm still plugging away at looking at facilities. And honestly, depending on how my mom does here, they may choose to put her in like a skilled, nursing facility or a rehab if she's not able to, get mobile on her own. Like, I don't know what that's going to look like. So I don't know if I say like, I'm not comfortable bringing her back here if she is not able to function and get around and move on her own. So I'm assuming they would like do something else, if I don't have a place for her to go yet. So I'm still working on it. Everyone, please, send a little prayer up, that we can find a place for her to go to that's going to be best for her. And like I said, everything happens for a reason. So I definitely know that everything's going to fall into place like it's supposed to. So I just have to be patient and trust in the Lord. All that aside, before this came about, my week was going good. Over the weekend, I got a lot accomplished cleaning the house and organizing. I finally got a shelf put together it's like an over the toilet shelf to organize in our hall bath. And that looks really good. And we're excited about that. I do still need to decorate on the walls and stuff. Like I said, I suck at decorating, but I do have some things. I just need to figure out where I'm going to put everything and what I'm going to do. But I'm so excited about that. Reading wise, things are good. I am loving this month. I'm just reading whatever I want. I'm doing whatever I want. I'm vlogging whatever I want, which I was hoping to have my vlog out before this because I don't think I've put anything out in the last week. I do have a vlog, my first vlog of the year, but I need to finish editing it. But again, I'm not putting pressure on myself. So you guys very well may see vlogs that are like things that happened a couple weeks ago. And that's okay. And I'm okay with that. I'm just here. This is going to be a very chillax year of me just doing whatever I feel like. I'm having a good time with the Clue reading challenge for Gwen's Patreon. I have not really pieced anything together, but I'm also just kind of taking my time because it's a month-long challenge. So I already know I'm not going to be the first one to figure it out. I mean, I don't know that, but I'm pretty sure I know that because there's a lot of people that are like speeding through and have more clues than me. And I'm fine with that. Just having a good time. Currently, I'm reading this and I'm having such a fun time with this. I am vlogging this, so, keep an eye out for that. It's such a good time. So some of the books that I've been reading do not count for Clue because Clue is only, adult fiction or nonfiction, and I've been reading, some children's or YA. So like I did read the original Peter Pan, and now I'm reading this. And then I read something else that didn't count for it. I don't remember what it was. But I'm having a good time with my reading. My family did come over the weekend. So I hadn't seen my dad's side of the family for probably 6 months. So I was able to see my dad and his wife and my half sister and her kids. So my niece and nephew, and then their kids. I have a new great niece. We didn't get to hold her though, because she is only 2 weeks old, and they didn't want to pass her around, you know, germs and all that. So, but I did get to look at her, and she's very tiny and very cute, and it was precious. So I did love that. And getting to see my dad, of course, he was updating me with all his health things, and I'm like, please just stay healthy. Please stay healthy until I get the one parent figured out. But for the most part, he is healthy. I mean, he has COPD. He also just had cataract surgery, and his eyes are not working great, but he at least does have a wife, you know, to help take care of him. However, she's not in the best health. So that's a whole nother ball game that that may come about. For now, he is good, and it was good seeing him and good seeing my family. So it was a good weekend. But yeah, overall, mental health wise, I am doing good. I'm staying positive. Other than being tired, y'all, I'm still having a good year. So let me know how you guys are doing this week. How's your year going? How's your reading going? Let me know all the things in the comments. Also, remember, if there's any questions you want to ask me or anything that you would like to know about or want me to talk about, put it in the comments. And until my next video, friends, be yourself, be awesome, be kind. Bye.